Well, welcome, guys. First question I really wanted to talk about today are what are the different types of data that organizations use, and how is that sort of driving their new value proposition?
I think a company deals with a lot of different types of data, depending on the industry. So if you're in a consumer-based industry, you're looking at your customer data, what their buying patterns are, what their trends are. If it's healthcare, you're looking at the types of diagnoses that they may have, the medications that they're on, what sort of metabolic or diagnostics that they have. Most companies also deal with their own financial and internal data. So I think it's industry specific. Right now there's a big focus on consumer data and how you leverage that consumer data, as well as internal data that you're using to drive your business and financials. Sunder, what do you think?
So that's great, and I'll contextualize it in for the technology services industry.
Mm-hmm.
There's the customer data, which is everything from service mix, pricing, contracting. Then there's operational data, which could be utilization, skill sets, attrition, which is a big topic right now. And underlying all that is really the business that all these services companies are providing this value to. So
yeah, if you think about it through the service provider lens, you're right. They're really looking at ways to manage their business, but also drive more business. Mm-hmm. I know when service providers come to ISG, the types of data they're looking for us to give them information on are not just, what deals are in the market, what size deals are coming up for renewal, but how are other service providers bundling their services together? How are they pricing them? What are the levers that they're using for changing up services mix? What are the specific SLAs? And then you get into not just quantitative data, but qualitative data. What types of clauses are being taken out of contracts? So right now they're asking about COLA, they're asking about termination of services. There's a lot of mix going on with the service provider community and types of data that they're looking for to make sure that they understand the market and are driving in the right direction. Yeah. Steve, I know you have thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think you guys are both bringing up great points, and I think to steal the phrase, I think data's the new oil, right? Mm. And I think when we look at every organization, the integration of analytics, the integration of so many sensors, the integration of the customer experience, the fact that we're tracked on our mobile devices now, we're tracked on our web, cookies, everything. We've got data everywhere. So organizations have to figure out what's their core asset and how do they think about monetizing that data to drive a different value stream. Kathy, if your world, if I think about ISG, we want to monetize price data, cost data, service level agreements, contract durations, the things that we talk about on the index. If I'm a service provider, I want to help organizations develop structures, data analytics, teams, organizations to help enterprises do it. And as you started out, every company is going to have a different set of data. And I would say likely even every vertical or sub-vertical or micro-vertical, whatever we want to call it, is going to have different assets. And the trick is to step back, I think, and say, how do we use it to make real insights and real decisions? And then what can we monetize from this?
I think data is also driving new partnerships in ways we've never seen before. You'll see competitors coming together to bring their data into a single data set so that they have more insights. So we were working with a medical community, and they were looking, one organization had developed a way to look at cancer biopsies, and they had a set of information, but really to get AI and intelligence around it, they needed more. So they opened it up to what would be considered maybe not their normal partners to build those data sets so they could drive better results for the communities that they served. And I think that happens a lot now. There's different partnerships because you can bring in data together and just have more deeper insights than what you might have had on your own.
So I think both of you bring up an interesting point, which is there's data that you get from your business, and there's external data. And the external data brings a lot of context, and when you put the two together, so as you're thinking about your data strategy, it's natural to start with your own data, right. But thinking about the outside data that's available and accessible and can add more color, detail to your internal data is an important aspect to keep in mind.
That's a great point. The external data that you can just access through an API or a microservice or some type of subscription is really becoming, I think, more important to enhancing your data that you have. And so all these data partnerships are either through subscription services, or creating partnerships with people that you might not have in the past.
Yeah, well, even look at our own business. So if you look at our ISG Executive Insights, right, it's an API-driven capability that really says, we know an awful lot about your contracts, your capabilities, what you can do, but we buy data from other firms that enhance that. We do third-party risk management. We do financial assessments. We do ESG capabilities.
Bringing that in now.
We're buying data from Dun & Bradstreet to integrate it in. So there's so many things that we can do that just so much value add for the end client because it enhances that overall experience with the data components that we build. So I think that's a brilliant question and something organizations will look forward to moving forward with.